Alright, we've all heard the horror stories about bikes falling off bike racks in transit. If you haven't had it happen to you before, then you might have had it happen to a mate of yours, or you've definitely seen it on YouTube if you've been scouting around looking for fails and all that sort of stuff. Today I'm going to teach you exactly how I strap a bike to one of these types of tow bar racks. So this is an Easy Grip. They're available here in New Zealand. This is the 2-bike model. It's about 165 bucks at the time of filming. You can get them nationwide, pretty much from any local bike shop. So go and support local and go and grab one of these if you like the look. True story, a buddy of mine was taking a crew of guys for a ride for his birthday. My bike ended up being on the end, and my bike being my bike, it was the most expensive bike, and I was a little unhappy about it being right here on the end of the rack, because I've experienced the pain of a bike falling off, or I've definitely seen other guys have it happen. So my buddy said to me, "Look, Dave, just chill. I've got this. I'll show you exactly how to strap a bike on here so that it won't fall off." And that is what I'm going to teach you today. Stay tuned. For this video, I'm going to be using my wife's hardtail rockhopper. It's about a 2019. She absolutely loves it. Can't get her off it. I tried to upgrade her to something different, like a Chisel from 2021. Wouldn't have it, didn't like the colour. So I'm also going to use 2 bungee ties. Alright, these are supplied with this particular rack. Other ties are a little shorter. I'd estimate that these things are probably 600 to 700 mil long. If you can get them, use them, because they're actually really good. So what we're going to do is mount the bike. Onto the rack. So the first part that I actually want to show you is the positioning of the bike. So we're going under the bottom tube here, or the down tube, and in behind the forks, and we're going underneath the top tube. So if you can make that happen on your bike, then fantastic. If not, you might be able to squeeze it through in behind the chain stays, or the seat stays here, sorry. And yeah, definitely if you can, try and get it so that it won't move from in behind the fork there. I'll show you some detail of how I wrap these after dropping them on the ground. Just seems customary for me, really, doesn't it? Dropping stuff on the ground. Exactly how we wrap this thing up so that it won't fall off ever. Here's the detail. I've got my little like catching end piece here of the highly technical term, obviously, for the bungee cord. I'll put that down here on the left side of the frame, ahead of the arm. Alright, I'm going to swoop it over the top of the frame. I'm going to tension it tight, like real tight. I've never had to do it this way for a video. I normally sort of get in between here and do this, so bear with me, this can be a little bit awkward. So I'm making it really stretchy and tight, and then I'm going to come over the top of the frame. I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to come back around the arm of the Easy Grip rack. I'm going to repeat the same process while keeping a lot of tension on the tie down. So we're going over and under and over and under, and then we're going to connect the end that I just brought through, this bit, to this bit. So the key to this is actually keeping a lot of tension on the tie down, and there you go, that's that done, because you don't want it moving around too much, you don't want it scuffing the frame, and you don't want it slackening off and becoming loose. So if you have a look at that, this here has bitten into the foam and is pulling down on the frame. So you're moving, or you're stopping the bike from moving too much laterally or side to side, being that you've tied it down the head tube and forks into the foam. Alright, let's try the other end. Alright, so here's the second tie down. I'm going to loop it over the frame, put a lot of tension on it, come underneath, biting into the foam, over the frame, under the arm of the rack, over the frame, under the arm of the rack, over the frame and under, and then I'm going to connect the two together, all the while keeping lots of tension on the bungee, which I just released. So if that happens, just feed it back around and through. A little awkward. And there you go. So within this rack there's like a little crook just here that you can store a bike in, and as you can see, that bike's really not going to come off. Here's the finished article. This bike isn't going anywhere. Alright, so one of the things that you've got to be really careful of when you come to take the bikes off is releasing these little clippies. They can flick, they can get you in the face or the eye or stuff like that, so please be really careful. You have put a lot of tension on to these ties to stop the bike from moving around. So you see you've got a little bit of wiggle here. Some people like that, some people don't mind it, some people don't like it. So in addition to these two ties, you can put one between the tyre and the down tube, and you can potentially put one between something like the down tube and the pole itself. One other thing I like to do with this style of rack is to use a lock. If you park up at McDonald's or Burger Fuel or whatever after a ride, or you stop at the supermarket on the way down to Rotorua or wherever, your bikes can go missing, and all of this was kind of for nothing. So I have one more point that I want to bring up, and that is position of the tyre and the rim in relation to your exhaust pipe. So I've seen tons of people driving around with their tyre really close to the exhaust pipe, especially with carbon rims. You can melt them, you can melt tyres and all that sort of stuff. So please make sure that if you've got a frame or a bike that's in the way of the exhaust pipe when you're in this configuration, try to change it. Stuff some rags underneath here, try to lift it up out of the way. Do what you can to try and protect those rims and those tyres, because there's been nothing worse than getting down to your destination and finding that a tyre's melted to pieces and you can't ride. I think that would absolutely suck. So this is how I do this particular thing. It's generally only my son's bike and my wife's bike that go on the back here. Mine goes on the roof. Check out the video where we install the roof racks on this 2017 Mazda CX-5. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and please share with somebody who actually needs to see this, because I think it's really important information. The people I've shown it to, it has blown their mind. It blew my mind, if I'm completely honest. My mate Blair said, "Don't worry mate, we've got this. Your bike's not coming off even though it's on the end." And hey, this is how I now do this particular thing. See you on the next video, and thanks for watching. Cheers.